Welcome back to First Listen, everybody. My name is Tenthal, and I hope you're doing well today. This week on First Listen, we checked out Marilyn Manson's latest and long-awaited album, Heaven Upside Down. This is a very, very interesting album. I got a lot to talk about here, but I feel as a fan who has listened for over 20 years, this kind of fits in with everything else pretty well. It's something you don't necessarily expect. He goes to some levels that may be a little too far here or there, but everything is context with Manson. So let's get into this First Listen. The album opens up with Relevation number 12. Kind of a quick rock enthuse track that really begs you to wake up. It even tells you, wake up. It's trying to awaken you to kind of, all the stuff that's going on. It is pretty effective at keeping you going, hooking you in, and really sets up an album that kind of goes to some places. This track really feels like a combination of all of his styles. And the man's got a lot of styles. This band's kind of changed a lot, probably even in the last 10 years especially, or maybe a little more. Anyway, I'm trying to say, it's a solid open. I like it. Tattooed in Reverse. Man, I really like this song. It's catchy. So catchy. That riff is so good at just hooking you in. And the cadence of everything is just so perfectly aligned. Oh my gosh. The man just does it and does it again. I'm never surprised, but I'm always surprised, which is a weird state to be in. And this track really makes the point that the man is who he is. Let him be who he is. Let him express himself. Sometimes it's going to get a little dark. It's going to be honest, though. A lot of dark honesty here on this album. This track really showcases that. Next we have Say 10. This is the original title track, and then it was changed for some reasons we may or may not talk about later. To be honest, this track was the hook for probably everybody. That teaser video is it's like a minute and a half or something real short. Was the craziest thing I've seen him do in probably like 10 years. At least that long. And that was the hook. But we're talking about the track here. The track is good. It's very catchy. And that's what you want out of a track that's probably, I'm guessing, probably going to be a single that is the album seller for him. It's gonna take this some places. It takes it places anyway, but it's gonna take it, I think, even more places. Damn! I forgot to mention this. This is the biggest middle finger to the man I've heard in a while. And you know the man I'm talking about. Then we gotta talk about Kill For Me. This track feels very cool and retro, 80s a little bit. Like there's maybe a little bit of a Cure influence in there, which that's pretty alright. Who doesn't like the Cure? I like how this one really plays out. The guitar and the vocals, everything kind of just goes, and it is dark. The theme for this track is dark. But it feels good. It's a good darkness. Saturnalia, which, man, what a long, nice, perfectly crafted open for a track. This thing is 8 minutes. That feels like it never starts and ends. It kind of just is. This is just a track of something else. You really get taken on a journey of his reflection and sadness. And this does have a lot to do with the recent passing of his father. And man, the sadness is really there, but there's something more. Something kind of left unsaid to be interpreted by the listener. And I think I'm going to keep that for myself because it hit home. It really hit home. Then we have Blood Honey. Whew, more synths. I'll take all the synths, buddy. I'll take all the synths you have. Love them. It's a good thing there's synths there because they kind of keep you going, because the theme of this one is quite dark. I've talked about this a little bit, probably too much throughout this review. Get used to it. It's very, very dark. You can really feel the pain, the anguish in this track. It's so palpable that it floods through the track and just, I don't know, it floored me. It really floored me. Heaven Upside Down, the title track of the album, and it's probably the most fitting title track. It's really good. This really, it really explains the theme, where this album is going, start to finish for me. It maybe should have been the first track. It would have hit just as hard, and the message would have been just as clear. It's a great track. It really puts an imprint on you. And it makes you think about some stuff, some deep stuff. This is an ode to everything he's been through recently. And man, what a way to put it down. This album wraps up with Threats of Romance, which I'm not really sure what is going on with that title. This track may have the coolest riff on the whole album by far. I really like it. This is so honest that I couldn't believe it when I was hearing it. I was following the lyrics along with it because I didn't want to miss anything. It's so honest. Here, listen to this. My seed would have made new fruit, and you could have been a tree, or I could have just cut you down, or just left you be. Like, what? What? This song took me to a place, and it wraps up the album so well. It just, it's good. So we've talked about it a little bit. There's a darkness on this album. There is indeed a thematic darkness the whole way through. You just feel it. It's great. We've seen this darkness from him before, but this one feels more honest, more vulnerable, more real. And I really, really like that. So overall, this is a pretty awesome album. Great atmosphere, great everything. It just goes where you want it to go. And if you're into Manson, I think you'll like it. If you're not, well, you know where to go, because it'll tell you. That's going to do it for this edition of First Listen. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit us up down in the comments with your thoughts about this album. Maybe check us out on Twitter. We can carry on a nice conversation about music and other things. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again here on the 10th dial for the next First Listen. Have a nice day.